So Lewis, welcome to the channel. It's good to have you. How are you today?
Thanks, doing great.
Awesome. So Lewis, I know you and many of my viewers will know you, but for the newcomers, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where we can find you?
Yeah, sure. My name's Louis Raskin. I am a trader. So I started out trading and then I got into YouTube, and TikTok is really where I think I blew up the most. And I'm also on, Twitter and Instagram and everything like that. So if anyone wants to reach out to me, I'd say Instagram's probably the best place. And it's just at Louis Raskin, just my name. But also Twitter and YouTube. I'm pretty much, glued to the screen 24/7, like most of us these days. So yeah, I am really trying to push the social media like really hard, like produce really, really high quality content this year, because most of the time that I've spent in crypto, even though I have made content, most of it has been actually specifically just like trading and learning about investing and like going really, really deep on that side as opposed to the content making side. But now I'm starting to come out of my shell, I guess, and produce a lot more really good content. So there's a lot to come. I'm really excited about it.
Awesome. And what I'll do is I'll put all your links in the description below, so it makes it a lot easier for everyone to contact you. So
Perfect.
Lewis, before we start, tell me, what were you like before crypto? If I met you at school, what kind of person were you?
I was the health and nutrition guy. So I was the type of person, not the type, I was the person who would literally bring green juice in a mason jar to my class and drink it, that has like celery and ginger roots and apple and stuff. And I remember this one time there was a pregame at the college that I went to, is FSU, and huge party school, probably like one of the top party schools in America. And everyone was drinking, and I had this juicer, and I started making juice, and I was like, shot, 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 shot. And I was like, ginger shots, carrot shots, apple shots. So yeah, that it's like weird, but also I tried to make it as cool as possible. And like, I feel if you're weird, if you put yourself out there and you're like really, really confident with it, then it's not weird, it's cool. So that was me in college, was the health guy. And after that, I actually graduated with degrees in exercise science and food and nutrition sciences, and wanted to become a doctor. But when I looked at the curriculum for med school, I realized that they literally indoctrinate people, like medical students, to this system that is not the healthcare system, but the sick care system, where they really just treat people with, they treat their symptoms with medications. And I try to be very holistic and get people off medications. So I decided to not go to med school, but instead become a certified holistic health coach and then a functional medicine practitioner, which was mind blowing. And so before crypto, I was actually helping people get healthier by addressing their diet, rest, exercise, stress reduction, supplementation, and all of these different factors, so that they could really heal their body and become the most optimal versions of themselves. And then in 2017, and that's when I found out I really got deep into crypto, but we could go into that in a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. So, from my understanding is you did actually get into crypto at 2017, like you said. For those people who are not aware, that was very early. Bitcoin was only 8 years old. It was going through its second bull run. The Bitcoin price skyrocketed from 1,000 in January to 19,000 in December. ICOs were the hype of the crypto bull run, and many people made and lost a lot of money on them. Towards the end of 2017, the SEC stepped in and started to investigate ICOs, and that brought the 2017 bull run to an end. Throughout the bear market that followed, the SEC was very hot on crypto because the ICOs, a lot of them were very poor projects and some of them were scams as well. You entered the crypto space very early on in Bitcoin's life. Tell me about that.
You say that, but I feel like I was so late when I entered. And that's probably what most people still feel, is that I'm so late, it's too late. What's the point? Because that was exactly how I felt in 2017. But what got me over that hump was listening to all of the OGs who got in 2015, who said, "Oh my God, I'm so late. You know, it went from $100 to $1,000." And now, or it went from, you know, a few dollars to $100, and like, you know, I'm so late. So that's what I was told that they were thinking back in 2015. And then there's even other people who got in 2012 who are still who were like, okay, I'm early, but like, man, I missed such a big run up, like, because it went from a few cents to, you know, a few dollars or something like that. So you always feel like it's too late. You always feel like you missed out, but that's not the case at all. And reading just massive amounts of books on finance and markets, and listening to the other people who got in before me have the same thought process made me realize, wow, you know, we are still early now. Okay, now, no, we're not, you know, massively early where it's like the early adopters, or I guess we're not the innovators, but we still are somewhat in that early adopting phase. I mean, we only just got the ETF approved. And if you look at gold, that got the ETF approved, that went up like quite substantially. And then the ETF got approved. And man, I forgot how much it went up, but hundreds and hundreds of percentage. So it's like big, and Bitcoin's supposed to be bigger, and, you know, considering that's digital worldwide and there's so much more access to it. So I still do believe that we are in the early-ish phases, and maybe it's going to take, instead of 4 years to get like super rich or to see some massive gains, maybe it takes 8 years or maybe 12 years if you're just doing Bitcoin. But it's on track, and I do truly 100% believe that eventually Bitcoin will be over $500,000 per coin, and potentially even $1 million per coin. Like, I'm so convinced by that. And I think that by the end of this cycle, it could reach, if you like look at the data and everything, it should reach somewhere between like 205 to 250,000. I'm not saying it will, but like that's what data seems to suggest. And so we're still we still are early. Yeah. So that's how I felt. That's how I felt when I first got in. And that's how most people probably feel, but I'm just letting you guys know, we are early and it's not too late. So invest as soon as possible. Just like that saying, you know, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and the next best time is today. Best time to invest in Bitcoin was, you know, 10 years ago. The next best time is today.
So who actually got you into cryptocurrency?
So really funny story with this. So first off, I saw this guy, his name is Antonopoulos, Andrea Antonopoulos, on the Joe Rogan podcast in 2014. And he was talking about Bitcoin. But when I was listening to that, it was probably like what happens to most people, where the words were coming and they sort of just went like that. And I did not understand a word that he was like, this is a decentralized distributed system on a ledger that's world. And I was like, whoa. So I didn't really understand it. And then in 2016, I learned about it again on the Joe Rogan podcast. And I was like, oh, this looks really interesting. I could sort of grasp it now. And I was in this mentorship program where we were making online businesses. And there was a question to the mentor, which was, hey, Bitcoin is really, you know, starting to gain some traction. Should I invest it? And my mentor said, you know, it's still, this was when it was really early, I guess, because he was like, it's still like shady. You know, there's like the dark web, and it's like mostly affiliated with like that type of stuff. So just build your business, your online business, and then maybe you could take some money from that and then put it into Bitcoin when you're done, and have that all, making you an income. And I was like, okay, I'll do that. So that was 2016. And then of course, like I built my business. I was working on it every single day up until later in the 2017. And right when I was going to launch my business, that's when I got sucked into the whole of cryptocurrency. So I never even launched my business after working on it for like 2 years, because crypto just took over my life. And the reason it took over my life is because in like mid 2017, I went on this Tinder date, and the girl was like, oh, you have to, join these Facebook groups about like Ethereum. There's this, stuff called Ethereum, and it's going crazy. So she forced me to join these groups. Right. And I didn't pay any attention to it. And then a few weeks later, I just start seeing all the messages in the group being like, oh my God, my investment's up like 10x, my investment's up 20x. Like I'm making so much money off of this. And I was like, what is this? Like really, like I should really dive deep into this. So I was doing this thing where I was reading a book a week to like really expand, my knowledge about everything. And I was like, all right, I'll pick one up on crypto. And I swear I picked one up, and that was the first book in years since 2012 that I picked up and I couldn't put down. I just had to finish. It was like every page was blowing my mind. The book was called The Internet of Money by Andreas Antonopoulos, actually. And yeah, that made me convinced that Bitcoin's the future, crypto's the future. I have to get on this train right now. So opened up an account on Binance, started, put some money in there. And within, I want to say like 2-3 months, I made more money just from like not knowing what I'm doing, investing it into crypto, than I did in my entire life. Everything that I made up to that point, I made more in like 2-3 months in crypto. And I was like, okay, that's pretty crazy. And even though I was going to launch my health and wellness program, which I worked so long on, like years and years. I got my degrees in it. I got everything, all the certifications in it. I would work on it. And then every 5 minutes, I'd be like, what's the price of Bitcoin? Work. What's crypto doing? Work. What is this? And I couldn't stop. I just couldn't stop looking at crypto. So I made the decision before I launched my health program that health will always be there, but there will be another cycle and cycles, obviously they're cyclical. They come and they go multiple times. And I knew that there was going to be another cycle because I got in at the tail end of 2017 where I made a bunch of money, but then 2018, we'll get into that. It, crashed. And so because I knew that there was going to be another cycle and that the opportunity was still there, I decided to drop everything in my life that I was doing and then dedicate everything I had to crypto and putting as much money as I possibly could into it. And that's now I'm here.
So, Lewis, what support did you have in the early days? Did you have any friends who were doing crypto with you? Were your family supportive?
Zero.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, none, literally none. No one was supportive. No one's like, and even my family still isn't even supportive to this day, which is like crazy. But especially in the beginning, no one knew it. No one knew what it was, and so what I did was just literally wake up, go on my laptop, research for as long as I possibly could until I either had to go to the bathroom or I had to eat. So then I would go to the kitchen, I would get food, I would bring it back to my room, study, like research more while I'm eating. And I would just that would be my day, like day in and day out, like nonstop for like months on end, just literally doing nothing. Like I didn't leave the house. I didn't do anything. And then I realized I needed money. So I started, and I needed to walk, go outside every once in a while because I heard that's healthy for you. So I got a job actually watching dogs. So because that would force me to go outside to walk the dogs. But also it wouldn't get in my way of researching and studying and figuring out this crypto thing. So I would literally like study with the dogs and research everything. And then I like every few hours, take them out, go for a walk, come back. And everything was on my own. Yeah, I was 100%. Yeah, everything was just me doing everything. I didn't have any mentors or people that even knew about crypto that I would talk to on a basis, which is one reason why I created my Discord group, and because it is lonely, like especially as a trader, like someone in crypto is lonely enough because not a lot of people are into it, and then as a trader also it's like really no one's it's hard to find people. So I wanted to create a community, which is why I ended up creating my Discord group and getting people who were like-minded into it, and that ended up being a great decision because I met so many really cool people in there, like, and some of them are good friends of mine now. So yeah.
Awesome. And I'll definitely link your Discord channel below as well. So the 2017 bull run faded into the bear market, and we saw a lot of downwards and sideways action for quite a few years actually. I want to talk about 2020 in particular. COVID hit. The world was going into lockdown, and then in March 2020, Bitcoin had one of its worst crashes ever. It dropped 60% from 9,200 to 3,800 US dollars. Altcoins were almost wiped out. What was your experience of COVID and also being in crypto when COVID hit?
Yeah. Okay. So my personal experience when it comes to COVID is ironic. It didn't have any effect on my life whatsoever. Like zero. Like I'm in my room anyway. I'm on my computer in my room. I don't leave the house. I don't go outside or like go to parties or like the thinking of like, oh, I'm gonna go watch the game with my bros on the weekend. Like I'm gonna go to a bar and drink some beers and stuff. Like that all honestly seems really stupid to me. Like I would rather be focusing on something that enhances my life like greatly and levels me up. So it's like that's all I did was just study and work like from my room. So when COVID hit and there was lockdown and stuff, it didn't affect me at all, like zero. And then when the market crashed, that was terrifying, but also I knew enough to not do anything really stupid at that, like sell all my stuff, right? So I ended up just holding at that time, and I might. Oh yeah. That's what I did. I ended up holding, and then as soon as it recovered, I said, okay, this was like a fluke, and then I bought a lot more.
Wow. Okay, awesome. Gosh, actually, that's so surprising. So you were able to keep your cool, and you were able to buy literally when it was down at 3,000, 4,000, maybe 5,000 US dollars. That's amazing. That really is. So let's talk about the 2021 bull run. So after the 2020 COVID correction, Bitcoin saw a lot of growth. A lot of millionaires were made because a year later, in April 2021, Bitcoin was retailing at over 60,000 US dollars. And then the China FUD hit, and Bitcoin fell from 60 to 30,000 US dollars before it made its recovery at the second peak, where it went up to $69,000. What was your experience of the double peak?
So that double peak, that top, the 2021 top, was actually what propelled me into a respectable like KOL, like person of like on social media when it comes to cryptocurrency and trading and things like that. Because the first market, the first top, I had a little bit of a warning and was like, okay, like you should probably sell some here. And then when it crashed down to around 35,000, I was like, look, we gotta, like, you should probably buy. I was sort of like pushing the buy side. And then, yeah, at around 30, 37, 38, I was like, okay, yeah, it's back on. Like, go, 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 go. And then at 69,000, Bitcoin did something that it hasn't done the entire cycle, which is something technical, which is it went above the previous top and then fell back and closed back below it. And that is a technical term called the swing failure pattern. And when that happens, it's either, if it happens at the top, it's really bearish. If it happens at the bottom, it's really bullish. And so I saw that happened at the top, and I was looking at the charts, and because I took the time in 2020, in early 2021, in all of 2020, in all of 2019, in all of 2018 to really hone in and study the charts. When Bitcoin fell from around 69,000 down to 60, I was seeing things that were red flags all over the place. And that's when I started putting out the videos. Hey guys, Bitcoin looks like absolute S. Like, I don't know, can I curse on here? Like, it looks like crap. It looks like absolute crap. And you should sell it. I'm selling everything. Like, get out of the market. So I started like screaming, and I have like tons and tons and tons of videos. I pinned all of them. I made a compilation video of everything from November when I started saying, hey guys, the market looks like crap, get out, sell, sell, sell. Went at the top in November all the way to December, January. I'm like, the market still looks bad. It still looks like it's going to go down a lot. I would not be buying all this stuff, while everyone else was saying, oh, we're going to 100,000. Bitcoin's going to $1 million this cycle, super cycle, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They're screaming all this hopium in everyone's face. And I was over here saying, look, like, I'm just being real. I'm looking at the data and it looks like garbage. So I'm selling. I don't know about you guys, but there's a couple condos that I really want to buy. And so I have enough now. If I don't sell, then I won't have enough. So I think I'm going to sell and buy these condos. And you guys could do whatever you want, but I'm telling you, like, this is bad. It looks bad. And so because of that, after it fell and it crashed 80% and everyone, lost all the money, I started getting like a lot of people reaching out to me to like manage their money and to like help them out in the markets in all sorts of different ways. So I loved the top in 2021. Obviously I want it to go to $1 million per coin, but it was something that really helped me out professionally speaking, because then I got like gigs and stuff, because it's like, oh wow, he's actually a real trader. Like, he knows what he's doing, as opposed to all these guys who are just scream out, it's going to $1 million or whatever, and just to give people what they want to hear. And so yeah, that was my experience with the top, and it was, yeah, I mean, that was basically it.
Okay, no, that sounds absolutely amazing. It really, really does, because everyone else that I've interviewed, everyone else that I've spoken to, apart from a smaller minority of people, they got wrecked in 2021. It's like the market finds, every bull run, it's like the market finds a different way to wreck people. Going back to the first peak, when the China FUD hit and it literally cut in half, it cut the price of Bitcoin in half. How were you feeling at that time? Did you know what was going on?
I was not. I don't know why. Well, probably because I've been through so much now. So, my emotional like control just became so level-headed by that point, that it like literally didn't affect me at all. Like, I was looking at it and I was like, oh, okay. Like I don't think it's the top. I don't think it's the true top. We've had China FUD. Like, here's the thing. We've had China FUD since 2014. China's been fudding and saying, oh, we're going to cut out, take all the miners out of China. Oh, we're going to ban Bitcoin. We're going to do this, do that. China, it's happened over and over and over and over and over again. So when I saw it like the 55th time, I was like, yeah, I don't care. So yeah, that the first one didn't affect me at all. It affected my P&L. It affected like how much profit I had and how much everything was worth, my portfolio. But I didn't really mind it because I had such a strong conviction that we were going to come back. And that's when, and then we did. So I was like, okay, cool. 1 for 1.
Okay. So how many people at the time were actually, because I know in the 2021 bull run, people were expecting at the second peak as well, there was too many moon boys. People were expecting it to go to 100,000. How many people actually listened to you and actually realized that the second peak, when you called it, was the actual top?
Probably like 3 people. I don't know. Like so few people. But I did get a couple people reach out to me, and be like, hey man, like, thank you so much. You've saved me like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, dude,
Gosh.
like, thank you. Like basically saying that they followed and they were super, super grateful. So, at least 2 or 3, I'd say.
And did you get a lot of flack as well from people at the time, or did other people just ignore it?
The thing that I got the most flack on was publicly shaming Luna and writing a post about Luna and how it's a scam and how it reminded me of 2017. There was another scam because this cryptocurrency called EOS came out. It raised $1 billion in its ICO that you were talking about earlier. And what it did was it was supposed to use that money in order to hire developers, market the project, et cetera, et cetera. But they just ended up buying Bitcoin and like screwing the project over and like not really doing anything with the project, right? So they raised $1 billion and then they just bought Bitcoin with all of when they were supposed to do all that stuff. Luna came out, Do Kwon, the owner of Luna, he came out and he said, hey, we're gonna have this new fund where we're gonna sell some Luna and buy Bitcoin with it, and it's gonna be part of the Luna Foundation or something. I was like, this sounds exactly like what EOS did back in 2017. Red flags. Don't like get out of it. And so I wrote a Twitter post. I think I pinned it. And it is so funny because I have like hundreds of hate comments on that post, right? But after it crashed and went to zero, some guy, I don't know who he is, he started commenting and replying to all of the haters. So I had people be like, wow, this guy's a clown, and then this guy would come in and be like, who's the clown now? and then these guys would be like, you don't know what you're talking about. How about you do your own research, okay? And then this guy comes in, looks like he knew what he was talking about. like, and then I was working for a company, this like really, really big mining corporation that had they bought Doge, they mined Dogecoin super early on. So they had millions of dollars, and I was their lead analyst. And so I had that in my bio. I was like lead analyst at a major corporation, and they were like, "Wow, I bet that corporation's not feeling too good about you or something like that." And then the guy comes back, "Yeah, I think they're feeling just fine." So I love how that happened because I thought it was hilarious. So that was the biggest amount of hate that I got. But it's also actually a great barometer for what's going to happen in the market is if everyone is against something or everyone is for something, the opposite typically happens because the market likes to screw over as many people as possible, and it finds ways.
Okay, and just for anyone who doesn't know about Luna, so after we had the top in November 2021, we slid into a bear market, and obviously in bear markets, a lot of fundamentally, I mean, even strong projects, even they fail. But a lot of the bear market cleanses out all the poor projects and all the weak hands. So we had a lot of black swans in the last bear market. We had Celsius, 3 Hours Capital, Voyager, Luna, FTX, and Luna was actually one of the biggest or the worst crashes that we had. You predicted Luna's downfall, which is absolutely amazing. What about the other black swan events? Because this was your second bear market, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and also how did you position your portfolio? So did you know after you called the top, you knew that we were sliding into a bear market. How did you position your portfolio at the time?
I went net short, which just means that I sold everything and or the majority of my assets, and then I made a bet that if it goes down, then I would win. I would make money. So that worked out really, really well because it went down quite substantially. And in the first like month, I made my entire year's goal. So that was really cool. It also taught me a lesson though, because eventually later on in the year, we did reach $30,000. And I thought that that was going to be where the bottom was, 28, 29, 30. And so I bought back then, and then it crashed to what, 15, 16,000
Yeah.
or something like that. So even though I literally called the top, sold, shorted it, bought back lower, sell high, buy low, I did everything right, I still ended up losing a lot of money, because you just never know what's going to happen, especially in a bear market like that. But because of those incidences, I've refined a system and I learned about a lot of indicators, a lot of things, a lot of data that you can look at in order to get very accurate measurements on where the bottoms and where the tops will be. So now I implement those into my strategy. So hopefully nothing like what happened in 2021 will happen again, and I'll be able to sell high and then buy near the bottom and not 50% or 45% above the bottom.
So what did you do? Did you actually hoddle? Did you keep your positions?
Yeah. Well, some of them yes, some of them no. Because I'm a trader, I see things that are like, if I see something and it looks so bad, it's like, okay, I'm gonna sell because I don't want to, maybe I lost 30% of my portfolio, but like I could still lose the rest, I don't want to lose the rest. So I try to be in that risk management mindset. So I sold most of it on the way down. Like I bought low and then I sold lower. And then once we stabilized a little bit and then started to like look okay, that's when I ended up buying back.
Awesome. Oh, okay. Awesome. So Bitcoin actually bottomed out in November 2022. And since then, we've been in an upwards trend. So you were not able to buy the bottom? You didn't buy at 15? Or did you buy again at 15?
No, I went all in. If I remember correctly, it was between 19 and 22
That's close
because
enough.
I mean, oh my God, I missed by $3,000 or $4,000. It's like, because I was really looking at like it from the technical side of things. And once we got like one candle that just jumped up from 15, 16,000 all the way up to like 18 or something like that, 19. And it took out like months
Yeah.
and months and months of price action from before, like downward price action. And in one candle, it just went up. I was like, okay, someone big bought someone big bought a lot. So they're probably smarter than me. So I think that the bottom's in, and that's when I was like, okay, I'm buying now because it's already so far down. And I learned a lesson last time, was that like if the market starts trending, you just got to go in. Like, it's like yeah, it might go down a little bit, but it's more likely that you're going to be waiting for the price to come down so you could get in at a better price, and then it just like goes up, 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 and it never goes down, and then you're just chasing it, chasing it, chasing it. So as soon as I saw that huge candle that wiped out all of the past bear markets, like the past 5 or 6 months, I was like, okay, I'm going in, and I just bought then.
You know what? I know exactly which candle you're talking about. And I was actually studying that candle not too long ago. And I know the reason why it went up. I just can't think of it at the moment. That's really going to annoy me. Awesome. That's amazing. So that's roughly when you realize the bull market was back on. Now, this year, we've had some really bullish news. We've had the approval of the ETFs. We've had the Bitcoin and the Ethereum ETFs approved. How do you think that's going to impact the market moving forward? And are you happy with the ETFs? Do you think they're a good thing?
Yeah, they were the number one ETFs ever in history. Like, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, the fact that we have an ETF and it's institutionalized now, I mean, I was always, it breaks my heart a little bit being that, independent rebel, like,
Yeah.
go against the machine type deal. But if we want Bitcoin to, be some worldwide asset, it's going to have to be regulated, and we need it. So yeah, I'm very okay with the ETFs. I'm glad that they happened. I believe that there will be more ETFs to come for other cryptocurrencies, and then we'll have baskets of cryptocurrencies in the ETF. I think it's all down the line. I was listening to Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, which is like the world's largest, hedge fund or money management corporation with over $9 trillion under management with a T. And he was talking about how they want to tokenize everything, like all real estate, everything's going to be put on the blockchain, all stocks, all bonds, all every commodity, everything is going to be tokenized. And so they're looking, and they basically control the world, to be honest. Like they have the most money and they control everything. So the fact that the CEO Larry Fink is talking about this and saying everything's going to be tokenized and everything's going to be on the blockchain, I mean, we're destined for a future where we're just going to have crypto, like legitimate crypto ETFs and legitimate crypto companies and businesses, and it's all going to be mainstream. And the ETF was the first main, like, big jump into mainstream adoption.
Okay, awesome. How do you think it's going to affect the price of Bitcoin in this coming bull run, having ETFs?
Well, the best thing that I could think about that is just comparing it to gold, because Bitcoin's supposed to be digital gold, right? That's what it's about. So if we look at the ETF, when gold got its ETF approved, like, it skyrocketed after that. It went on an absolute frenzy. It took years, I think, like a decade or so, but like thousands of percent, it went up because it was legitimized, we already knew that it was legit, but it became institutionalized and became easy to get in and out of for institutions, for retirement funds, for schools. So the same thing is happening with Bitcoin. So I think that Bitcoin, it runs on, not I think, like it does, it runs on 4-year cycles. And we have these 4-year cycles where every 4 years it goes through like a huge upward movement, and then the 5th year it crashes, and then it sort of stagnates, and then it starts its ascent back up. And so ETF or no ETF, I think that Bitcoin is just following, and it just will continue following the laws that that's been programmed into it. And so ultimately, yeah, I think it's good, and I think it's going to boost the price up like tremendously.
Awesome. Now, Lewis, you're a trader. How much investing do you do? I mean, I'm predominantly a degen investor. I have done some trading. I actually find trading really difficult. I'm still learning how to trade. So you're a trader, but what is your investing like? Do you invest at all?
Yeah, absolutely. You have to, because in crypto, it's like you could trade, right? And you could spend hours and hours and hours trading back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And yeah, maybe you make like, let's say you make like, I don't know, 80%, which is insane when you think about it. The best hedge fund managers in the world make like 12%, or 12 to 30%. And so you could do all of that, or you could invest into these projects, and maybe they'll go down, maybe you'll lose a little in the beginning, but then they have one candle that goes up 1,000%, maybe not 1,000%, but a few 100% it could go up, or like maybe it has like a few candles or 1 month where it goes up 1,000, 2,000, 3,000%, and it's like you might as well have just done that. I mean, yeah, so I have a trading account and I have an investment account. And that's what I tell everyone. I tell everyone, have a long-term investment portfolio. And if you're getting into trading, have a trading portfolio as well. But make sure you have that long-term investment portfolio, because you could, like I said, you could try to trade it, but you're not going to catch those huge moves that come out of nowhere on like if you're trading. You could only catch those moves if you're investing. And you just have to stomach the possible losses. I have a friend who put 50,000 into Popcat, this meme coin, this cycle, and it went from 50K down to $8,000. And he was so distraught and so depressed about that. But then about, it's been 8 months or 9 months, and it went on an absolute tear, and he's up almost $3 million now. So yeah, it's like even if you started with 50K, even if you started with 100,000, you're not going to turn that into 3 million trading it. But if you do the research and then invest and you get lucky with it, or it works out, yeah, you could turn 50K into 3 million. Or this other guy, he puts 20K into Brett, which is Coinbase's meme coin, basically. And that's at a few million at this point. I think it's at like 4 million, 5 million. I put 20K into this keyboard thing called Keyboard Cat. It was like a really funny meme. And that did like a 10x or something, because some guy on Twitter, tweeted about it. Like, it has no fundamentals, no technical thing about it. Just some guy tweeted about it. So that's why I say have an investment account, because you never know when something is crazy is going to happen.
Awesome. So Lewis, tell me about your YouTube journey, because you're a very successful YouTuber now. We kind of heard a little bit about it, but tell me a little bit more about your YouTube journey.
I wouldn't say very successful yet, but I only reached like 5K. I just reached 5K subscribers, which is actually a really good milestone, because I've been trying for such a long time. But I'm like quality. Like, as soon as I made like quality videos, my views went up like 50-fold, and I gained like 1,000 subscribers. So that's hopefully I'll be at 10,000 in a few months, and then 50K, and then 100K. I really want to get to 100K by the end of next year. So yeah, I actually started out on YouTube in 2012, I think, or 2013, just documenting my health journey, because I was like sick and I had acne and I wanted to just document all of the natural remedies that I was using to get clearer skin. And that's how I started on YouTube. So I was always pretty comfortable in front of a camera, and I do like to talk a lot. So people usually don't want to listen, or like, it's hard to find people to just like talk to all the time, like just ramble on about things. But with YouTube, it's awesome because you literally just are in a room by yourself and you could just talk, but you're talking as if there's another person there. And then you could just edit out all of the stupid stuff that you say or all the silence. So it makes you look really good. But yeah, so I've been doing it for such a long time now. And now I'm before it was just sort of like a hobby. It was always just like for myself. But now it's like big time. I want to be like a huge YouTuber. And even for the crypto stuff, a lot of the crypto stuff that I was making, a lot of it was my journey, but also when I would find things out, when I'd figure stuff out and connect a lot of dots, I would make videos about that. And I would do like market updates, because I figured, oh, well, I have to do a market update anyway to, figure out what I'm going to trade. So I might as well put it on YouTube and help people out. So that was really good. That gained me a solid like core audience. And now I'm expanding.
Awesome. And I know you love your Twitter because you're always posting on Twitter. I follow you on Twitter and you're always posting. Is that the best place to follow you then, on Twitter?
Twitter is definitely a good place. I literally just finished making like 20 really, really good high quality videos for Instagram, like short form reels. So I'm trying to grow my Instagram the most. Twitter, I like Twitter, or X, it's really big, obviously, in the crypto community. It's crypto Twitter. That's what it is, right? But it's also just like so toxic and so stupid and like everyone just LARPs and lies, and it's just filled with I don't know, just like when you hear the word, like the term incel, like that's like a lot of people on crypto Twitter are like that. They're just like really negative, just like terrible trolls. So yeah, I'm on it, but I'm only on Twitter because there's crypto Twitter, and it's like a thing that you have to do. And I'll post charts and things on there sometimes, and then like my thoughts, but I try to stay away from like toxicity, and it's hard to not be toxic. And I used to think about Twitter, think about crypto Twitter, is that it used to be the place where you get alpha. You could get insane alpha, like really, really good information that can make you a lot of money. Now it's so flooded with shills and with these people that these influencers that basically get pre-seed allocations, and then they just push out, oh, hey, this one's going to the moon, this buy this coin now, and then they sell it as soon as they post it, because all of their followers buy it, and they already have $1 million worth from earlier that they got, they pre-mined it, or they got it from the foundation. And so you can't trust anything on crypto Twitter anymore. There's hardly any alpha, and to try to find it, like sifting through the BS that's on there is so time consuming. And it's better to just do the research on your own. Like go into, if you want to be like a true like degenerate, like it's better to go into the Dex screener and into Solscan, into these things, and look for the degen plays, the new coins, the coins with under 100, basically under 100 million market cap, or under 50 million market cap, or under 10 million market cap. Although that's pretty crazy to me, but like that's where you'll get the most gains. It's better to just do the research on your own instead of like trying to, I don't know, use Twitter to figure to say like, oh, this guy says that this is good, this guy says that this is good, because by the time it's on there and it's like popular, it's too late.
No, I agree. I mean, crypto is a dirty game when you think about it that way. And yeah, I don't really, there's a lot of people that I don't trust. There's only a few people that I trust actually in crypto, a few crypto YouTubers. Lewis, what are your top narratives for this bull run?
Meme coins.
Yeah.
All in memes. But like, sad truth, that actually is the narrative. And it's the narrative because of the data. Because if you look at the last few years, if you look at the top, oh my God, it's like if you look at the top 10 coins that made the most gains, 7 out of them are memes. Like 2 of them are L1s, and then like 1 of them is something else. Like it's just like everyone goes into memes, and then and the reason is because of this. The reason is because of this. We all the charade is up. Like everyone knows everything else is BS. Everyone knows that you could come out with the greatest technology in the world, and you could come out with the best roadmap, and you could come out with all of these things that are so good, but if you as soon as a cryptocurrency actually fulfills their promises, then everyone sells it and it's dead air and it goes down and it's useless, like in terms of a speculative asset anymore. So the projects and the teams, they don't want to actually fulfill what they promise. They don't want to actually launch, the version 2 or the version 3 or version 4 or whatever, because that just everyone buys it up into the hype, and then as soon as it happens, they sell off. So there's that. And then there's also the fact that 90% of the projects out there that do say they have this revolutionary technology, we're foundationally, superior, and there's all this fundamental stuff. 90% of them is just an act, and it's just a few guys behind their computer just making stuff up, typing on their keyboard, creating a website in an hour, and saying things that aren't true. And even the ones that are true, even the ones that are good, that do have the funding, you have the founders that have a ton of the coins, and then the VCs get the coins. And then there's the seed rounds, seed round 1, 2, 3, or A, B, and C, in which more venture capitalists and early round investors and friends and family get the coins. And then there's the KOLs, the people that like to that have a big influence, they get the coins. And then you have all of these people with all of these coins, right? And they get the coins, and then all the way up here, the public, the retail, gets told about the coin because the coin launches up here. And as soon as it launches, all of these people dump. So we are just like, people just collectively got sick of that. And they said, you know what? Meme coins. It's for fun. We know there's no utility. We know it doesn't mean anything. It's a collective community that we could all get behind to have fun on the internet and speculate without having all of these VCs or all of these KOLs or all of these shills. And we might as well just make the best of it. And that's what crypto is for. So why not just go into those? And so that's what the consensus has been. And that's why, 7 out of 10 biggest movers have been memes. And if you look at year to date, almost every, if not almost every single coin that has launched on Binance, except for memes, are down. Like I'm talking about, like over 100 coins are down. They're down from year start of the year, except for I think 10 of them or 20 of them, and they're all memes. Every single except for I think 2 of them. So it's like, dude, go where the money is. I like to just put everything aside. I put the ego aside. No ego, no type of this is my coin. I need to get into this one because it's like I love the founder and I love this thing about it. And I love this thing about it. No, follow the money, follow the data, look at the data. What is it telling you? And then trade based off of that and invest off of that, So that's what I do. So number 1 is memes. Number 2 for this cycle is going to be AI, because everybody knows about AI. Retail knows about AI. Your mom knows about AI. Your barber knows about AI. Your Uber driver knows about AI. Everyone knows AI. So the reason why Dogecoin went so crazy last cycle is because everyone knows about Elon Musk and Tesla, and Elon Musk started pushing Dogecoin, and it was all over the place, and retail knew about it. So everyone knows about AI. So that's going to be another cycle, and that's going to do similar to how, like, those market cycles go up and down, up and down, up and down. We've already seen AI go up a lot and then crash back down. So I do believe that it will go up and have another cycle, because AI is a technology that's, of course, here to stay. It's going to continue to get honestly, I'm seeing things like being in like the tech space and stuff, and my friends are seeing things that we did not think were going to be here until 2030, in the 2030s, 2035, but it's already here. I don't know if you saw the new glasses by Meta, where they have the new technology where it creates a hologram in front of your eyes, and you could literally, instead of reaching up and like tapping the hologram like this, what they did was they created a wristband, and you just go like this, like while it's your arm is by your side, so you don't look, walking down the street going like that, but you just tap your fingers, or you just go like this or whatever and make gestures, and it's like Minority Report. It's like the movie Minority Report, where like there's all these things in front of you, all these holograms, and you could like slide them out of the way, and like this comes up and this comes up, and you can multitask, and like that's invented, that's here, like it's real, it's right now. So you could imagine what we're going to have in 5 years, and even in 10 years. Like the technology is just going to continue to get absolutely insane, and it's the same for AI. So I'm really, really, really into AI. There's one in particular called BitTensor Tau, which I'm super invested in, because that one is similar to how Bitcoin took money and then decentralized that and decentralized the financial system, and it doesn't have any like one owner or anything like that. Tau is trying to do the same for AI, because right now there's OpenAI and Microsoft and Google and a few other ones that have total control over all AI. And so Tau is trying to decentralize that and make it, free for the people, so that anyone could create things, create AI concepts, and create AI projects, and have it be part of the Tau network without having that closed system of OpenAI or Microsoft or Apple or Google just like controlling everything. So AI is the second biggest narrative, and the third is real world assets, because that one, if you're in crypto, that better be a top narrative. If not this cycle, the next cycle, because number one, remember how I said the CEO of BlackRock, I think he said he wants to tokenize everything. Well, BlackRock owns an insane amount of real estate, so they want to tokenize that and put that on the blockchain. And real world assets, like there's one called Ondo Finance, which I really like. Like they are helping to facilitate that transition from a real world asset, from like the house being what it is, to getting the title and getting the things that you need for the house onto the blockchain, so that everything could be categorized and everything could be put on this ledger, this system, this checks and balances, so we could see everything and it'll automatically be updated, and we could take away so much manual labor when it comes to what we do, everything, with houses, with mortgages, and with rent, and with upkeep, with all this type of stuff. So real world assets is the last narrative that I'm betting on this cycle.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Mine's AI, real world assets, and gaming, but memes are going to be hot. This meme season that we're still in a meme season. It's really opened my eyes to memes. Lewis, you travel so much. It's like every time I'm trying to contact you, or every time that we're speaking, you're in a different country. Tell me all about your travels.
Oh, it's been great. Been to Colombia this year, last year. So it was Colombia. Then I went to the Philippines, because someone invited me to do like a little mastermind and give a talk on crypto. So I was like, all right, I've never been to Asia or never been to the Philippines before. Might as well check it out. So I went there and gave the speech. That was really cool. And then being in the Philippines, I'm like, okay, well, what's close by here? And I'm part of this group that has a lot of digital nomads in it. And the two places where the most digital nomads are, at least in that group, one was Colombia, Medellin, Colombia, and then the second one was Bali in Indonesia. So I was close to Bali, so I said, all right, let's go there. And that was awesome. That was great. Beautiful beaches and things. But then while I'm there, people were like, oh, you think these beaches are good? You should go to the beaches in Europe. So now I have to go to the beaches in Europe. But before I do, I want to finish my Asian tour. So decided to hit up Thailand last couple weeks ago, and that was amazing. That blew my mind. So it's always, yeah. I mean, basically, I was living in Miami, right? And Miami is one of the most expensive cities in America. I was living there, paying exorbitant amounts for rent, and then I was wondering, why am I paying this much when I could literally live anywhere in the world? I work from my laptop. I don't need to be physically in Miami paying so much. And especially when the bear market hit, it's like, okay, now I really now I really need to save some money. So let me figure out where I could go. And if you do it right, traveling could actually be like super cheap. It's like I'm paying like, oh my God, I'm gonna upload a video of a tour of the apartment that I was in Bangkok, which you could get for $1,000. Super ultra luxury high-rise apartment, overview of the entire city landscape, absolutely beautiful, a huge resort style pool, two huge gyms, two boxing rings, yoga studio, movie theaters, golf simulators, pool tables, libraries, insane saunas, absolutely wild for $1,000 about per month. That would be like $4,000 in Miami. So I have thoroughly enjoyed finding places like that and figuring this out. And of course, traveling is, it's good for the soul. It's good to see different cultures. Although the vast majority of time I am in my room, in front of my computer. It's really cool to be able to do that from places where you could open the window and see the city or see the beach or whatever. And that's been my experience, is like, even though I'm in my room, still at least I'm traveling, at least I'm doing something. And then like maybe once a week I'll go out.
Awesome. So Lewis, just before I let you go, I want to know what advice you would give a person who's just starting out on their crypto journey.
I would say invest. And this is, you know what, this is going to sound funny. I would say invest everything you have, everything you can afford to invest, put it all into Bitcoin immediately. And the reason why I say that is actually because I just did a huge analysis on the best types of investing. And if you ask someone, hey, I have a bunch of money, what should I do with it? Should I just lump sum and invest and put it all in right now? Or should I dollar cost average and split it up into chunks? The vast majority of people, I believe, would say, oh, well, it's a little risky to put it all in right now. So you might as well just split it up, or just dollar cost average. That's usually a really safe bet, whatever. But the data is unequivocal. It lump sum investing blows dollar cost averaging out the water in every single category, every single year, except for the years where we have crazy bear markets. So obviously, if you lump sum invest and you threw everything in last cycle at $69,000, yeah, you would have been better off dollar cost averaging. But other than that, other than those few instances where it's the top of the market, lump sum investing has been proven to outperform dollar cost averaging every single time. So that I used to actually dollar cost average I've been dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin every single week since 2017. nonstop, always. And I stopped after I did the research, and I'm making a video on this. And I just decided, okay, well, why am I doing that? Like, I'll just put it in. So I would say the first thing to do is just put everything that you can invest without, like going crazy, and putting things that you can't afford to lose. I would say put everything you can afford to lose, even though you're not going to lose it, because you could set a stop loss for 50%, and you like, it's impossible for it to go to zero unless it gets stolen or something like that, or you mishandle it. But like, I would say put it all into Bitcoin, and then do as much research as you possibly can. Figure out this crypto space, figure out everything about it. There's a ton of videos on it. I have a video, how to invest into crypto for beginners, full guide. It's an hour and 45 minutes going over every single aspect you need to know about crypto. There's a bunch of other people that have a ton of really great resources. So I would spend 2 weeks, like all day, every day, like going through everything, figuring it out. And then I would open up an account, and I would take maybe, depending on how much money you have, maybe it's $100, maybe it's $1,000. And I would try to like research things and put money into different things. And then probably, if you have time, like do some, like start trading, like trade a little bit. But I would say most people are better off doing research and then just like investing their money and putting their money into high quality projects. One thing that I feel is really, really important that people need to do is when they invest, like as soon as they press the buy button, they should take wherever they put their money in, they should double that price. So if they put all their money in at 50,000, they should say $100,000, I'm taking out either my initial investment or at least 25% or something like that, 25, 50%. That way, at least you'll save yourself, in case it does, go up and then crash drastically. Because that was such a huge problem for me in the beginning, and for a lot of people, is that we would invest and we would actually see our portfolios go up like crazy, skyrocket. And we would be ecstatic because we'd make so much money. We'd be making so much money on paper, but we never sold, right? And then it crashes and we end up losing money in the end. So if you have it where you have those sell orders in the books, they're already there. As soon as it hits it, you're going to sell, like it's going to automatically sell for you. Take everything that you have to do manually, take as much manual stuff out of the equation as possible, and just put your sell orders in. That way you protect yourself. And even if you get caught up in life, you're still, and you go back months and months later, you'll look and oh wow, I have some cash, some cash reserves in here and stuff. So I would say, yeah, invest as much as you can afford to lose into Bitcoin, then do as much research as you can, or as much as you can, get sucked into the rabbit hole, and then look for ways that you could outperform Bitcoin. Because if you're not outperforming Bitcoin, why are you doing anything like other than just buying Bitcoin? Just buy Bitcoin. That's it, but look for ways and figure out how can you outperform Bitcoin, and then try it out, like get your feet wet and jump into the kitchen. You're going to burn yourself though, but that's part of the game.
Lewis, it's an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming onto the channel. Like I said, we'll link everything down below. Your crypto journey was amazing. I really enjoyed learning about it. Thank you.
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.